Alright, everybody, welcome back to the Flintstones Genesis playthrough. This is the final part. Bedrock TM. I like those little trademark logos they put there. I'm surprised they didn't trademark the character names. But yes, now it is time for the fourth level in the game. This is another one of those auto-scrollers, and this takes place on a train. This one's kind of neat. I'm not as big of a fan of this one, but it's mostly just because I'm not really the biggest fan of auto-scrollers, if I'm being totally honest with you folks. I mean, they're not necessarily bad, it's just I don't like levels that drag on longer than they really need to. And that's kind of the vibe I get here. But it's all good, I'll get through it. I wouldn't do a playthrough of it if I couldn't get through it. But yeah, it's mostly just about listening for the audio cues in this one. So you can avoid the stoplight things that are constantly coming at you, and you can make sure that whenever there's a cave section nearby that you can duck in time. Most of the time I just ignore that stuff and just try to zip zop zoobida wop zoom on through. But yeah, good stuff. But yeah, auto-scrollers have just never been my thing. I feel like that's one of the biggest downfalls to playing stuff like Mario 3 and Super Mario World. I like to be able to just Sonic the Hedgehog my way through levels, zip through them as quick as I can. Sometimes that's what gets me in trouble with these games. Just you can't always do that. Can't always do that. Hey, another not Yoshi. I'll just give it a second, and now. Aw yeah, gotta love that old school slowdown. Back in the days when if there was too many sprites or items on screen, the game would just lag. I imagine that still happens in current gaming, but it just seems like it was more prominent back in these days. I'm not sure which system does that more, the Super Nintendo or the Genesis, but it seemed like games on both systems had their fair share of it. Blast processing my ass. Get my health replenished. And get that checkpoint there. Checkpoint! But yeah, I'm always trying to stay near the edge of the screen so I can wipe out enemies at a moment's notice. And if one of those green things that connect the train cars, if one of those separates, it's very easy to fall off the train. You gotta make sure you're far enough away so that doesn't happen, because that's an insta-death. Basically what happens is if you fall off, Fred will try to run for a second, then he'll just get steamrolled by another oncoming train. I like how those eggs kinda follow you for a second. Sometimes it seems like the things that they give you to help you out, though, don't really help for long enough and don't really... They put them in very inconvenient places, like the invincibilities. I keep wanting to say insensibilities, like, okay. Invincibilities. Oh. But yeah, you gotta look out for them caves. Of course, I'm just trying to get through it. I don't mind. As long as I can make it to the end of the level. Which I do, spoilers. I'm thinking about playing some more of these Flintstones games. Some of them are actually pretty good, surprisingly. Like this one's actually not bad. Now, I've heard good things about the Flintstones Super Nintendo games. Not necessarily the crappy ocean one that's based off the movie, but that one looks weird. And it's made by Ocean. Ocean's not really known for quality. They're more so just known for churning out cheap licensed products. Or they were back then. Yeah, I'm thinking I will probably get hit. But no worries if I do. I'll still be able to keep my place here in the boss battle. Now this bird guy, this Boyd, you gotta look out for him. Most of the actually all the bosses in this game have set patterns. So once you get those patterns figured out, you're golden. I'd say just a couple more hits, and that will take care of the situation at hand. No, not yet. Nope. I'd say I'm just about there. I got myself hit. And now we go. Good. That's gonna do it for the 4th level. I should have known, Fred. Yabba dabba doo, trademark. So does that mean I have to pay somebody every time I say yabba dabba doo? Am I gonna get lawyered? But now I gotta rescue Bam Bam's club. Cause he's not Bam Bam without his club. Bam, bam, bam! Take it away, Bam Bam. Bam, bam, bam! Take it away, Emerald! Bam! You know, there was a time when the Flintstones would get like 100 spin-off shows, and most of them aren't any good. I don't remember any of them really being any good. There was that Flintstones Kids from the 80s where they're all just kid versions. Then there's that Pebbles and Bam Bam show from the 70s. It's not very good. But not everything Flintstones related's terrible after the original show. There's a couple of decent things here and there. And plus, I'm pretty sure they still use Fred and Barney as the mascots for the Pebbles cereals. Which, if I had to pick a favorite cereal, it would probably be Fruity Pebbles. It would either be Fruity Pebbles or, I don't know, I'd say Boo Berry. You know, 2 cereals that are really not that good for you. Have tons of sugar. But I like my cereals to be sweet and bad for me, I guess. Although sometimes I get healthy cereal, like the Magic Spoon stuff. Hey, maybe you should, hey Magic Spoon, if you're listening, can you let me do one of those advertisements? Pay me? I could use some revenue over here. Just kidding. Although, it would be nice to get a paid sponsor or something. I've been doing this for how long now? Oh well. Yeah, this is a spot you gotta watch out for. You gotta watch out for them lavas. And this is a really tricky section. This can trip you up bad if you don't know how to handle it. There's a platform up above, and you wouldn't think you're close enough to climb it, but you actually are. And you just want to make sure you do that at the right exact time or you're screwed. Luckily, I was able to do it at the right exact time, so I'm not screwed yet. Hey, it's the Great Gazoo. Every now and again you run into him in various levels, and he'll take you to bonus stages. Now, I'm not very good at these bonus stages, so I don't expect this to go over too well, but I did get an extra life, so that counts as something. That was pretty close to the end of that bonus stage. But yeah, climbing is a neat thing in these games. You can definitely... It definitely comes in handy, and sometimes you actually have to use it. Although it took me a while to get the hang of it. It's the one thing that makes the controls kind of weird in this game. But anyways, it's time for boss number 5, Mambo number 5. It's a fire-breathing dragon. And this is another one that's got patterns that once you can get the hang of the patterns, he's pretty easy to take down. It just takes a while. It feels like it takes a million hits to take this guy down. But no worries, folks, I'll get it taken care of. Or my name's not Fromark. Just charge up that club, bonk him a few times. Bonk. Gotta give him the bonk sometimes, let him know who's boss. Gotta let him know who's the boss, Tony Danza. And then you look out for those, wait, he's not doing it yet. But sometimes he'll shoot a fire up in the sky and the fireballs will come back down. You want to watch out for that. And just watch out for his miscellaneous... Yeah, there's one of them sky fires. Ooh, that was close. Yeah, Skyfire sounds like it'd make a good movie or game title. It would also make a good title if I could go ahead and knock this boss out. It's just these boss battles, they tend to go on for a second. I don't know if I managed to even... Well, uh-oh. down to 1 heart, so I don't know if I can get them in one go here. That'd be nice if I could, but we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, for some reason... Ooh, nope. For some reason, I kept hitting him there, and he wasn't doing anything. So you gotta be, like, right up on these enemies sometimes in order for it to register. But that's gonna do it for that one. And there's Bam Bam's Club. Good stuff. Good stuff if I do say so myself. That dragon won't bother you anymore, Bam Bam. Aw, man, he didn't do the trademarked Yabba Dabba Doo that time. But yeah, there's another Flintstones game that I played. I think it's one of the Super Nintendo ones where it says Bedrock TM above the HUD. But, ooh, I like this theme. One of the better songs in the game. And I died off screen during the recording of this, so I just said screw it and kept it rolling. Sometimes it's all you can do. Gotta keep going. And I can show you the spot where it happened. And I got one of my lives back, so that's also neat. Let's say I'll be alright. Yeah, it's a section here. There's just so much crap coming at you that you gotta look out. But yeah, this is just a really good theme and a really good piece of Sega Genesis music here. I'm also a fan of that in-between level music, because it's real bass heavy, and that's the one thing the Genesis could do pretty good, is it could drop a mean bass. Climb up these stairs and go down the slope. Ah, this wasn't the section I was thinking of. But there is a section coming up. Ooh, gotta look out for that rising water. The river she rises. I'm sure there's a song like that. But yeah, anyways. There's the first checkpoint. Yeah, here's the section I was thinking of. You want to be very careful here when you fall down here and make your jump on these, not springs. That was close. Man, I still managed to get hit anyway. Oh well. Got these bats over here. Bats! And I would say this is actually a pretty decent level to get through. I like this one. I like it a lot more than the previous level, to be honest with you. But there is a section coming up that I'm surprised isn't just the entire level, if I'm being honest with you. But I'm getting just a smidge ahead of myself here. Gotta climb these slopes and ledges. I was expecting those spikes to fall, but they didn't. Ooh. Doesn't matter anyway. Yeah, no. I keep misjudging where I'm at in this level. Ah, yes. Here we go, folks. This is a spot where I'm like, why isn't this just the entire level? It's a minecart section. And although Donkey Kong Country games do the minecart sections better, this actually predates Donkey Kong Country by a little bit. So I wonder if maybe they got their inspiration from this. But yeah, you just gotta deal with all this wacky stuff. Luckily I was able to get some health there. And you gotta jump from cart to cart sometimes. It's just the way it goes sometimes. At least you get those little warnings ahead of time, and this is the spot where things get really tricky. Because these cave dudes start showing up and you gotta throw their projectiles back at them. Sometimes they'll show up on that corner, sometimes there'll be one right behind you, and it's just, you gotta deal with them. Yeah, there's 2 of them now. Yeah, get out of here. Get out of here. Alright. So far, so good. Yeah. Yes and no. Alright. Just a couple more of these guys to deal with. And believe it or not, it's pretty close to final boss time. I know, this game's pretty short, folks. If I had played it on the easy mode, you wouldn't have even been able to see these last 2 levels. Easy mode cuts the game just a little bit short. Now, I'm playing on normal difficulty. As far as I know, hard mode doesn't add anything new. But that's alright. I died off screen again during this battle. And this is the final boss, folks. This is a random witch character who I don't believe ever showed up in the animated series. And a boss fight that for some reason gives me Super Mario 2 flashbacks again. I feel like this game had to have taken a lot of inspiration from Mario 2. But yeah, the witch boss here is split into 3 different phases. There's the one where she throws the stars at you. In phase 2, it starts to pick up a little bit more. Because then she'll start throwing lightning bolts at you. You gotta be prepared to deal with those because they can just kind of randomly hit you in random spots. Ooh, this is not looking good. Oh, man, that was close. Grab that extra heart there. At least this boss battle gives you a couple of those. I wonder if those are there in the hard mode, though. And now it's time for the 3rd and the final phase where she throws these dragon flame things at you. And those are actually pretty easy to dodge. Because, I mean, they lock on for a second, but you can usually move out of the way pretty quickly, folks. I just gotta hit this boss a couple more times. And I'd say I shouldn't have any problems doing that. There's no real telling where she's gonna go, but yeah, there we go, folks. That was the final bonk of the final boss. Go ahead and grab this hat and free these not Yoshis who are statues no longer. They're statue of limitations. Limitations? Man, I'm just stumbling all over my words tonight. But the dragons have been rescued. The statue of limitations has run out. And they are no longer statues. Bedrock TM. But yes, folks, the day has been saved. Yabba dabba doo TM indeed. Bedrock TM has been saved, TM. Oh, so they're supposed to be pterodactyls. I mean, I was close, right? Now what's going on? Oh no, not again, he says. Man, they kind of look like Yoshi eggs. You can't tell me this game wasn't at least somewhat inspired by Mario. But yes, folks, that was Flintstones on the Sega Genesis. Pretty short little adventure to get through. I give it a 7 out of 10. I think it's a decent game. It's a fun enough half hour of your time. It's got some replay value to it. Maybe I'll come back to it one day. I recognize that Kei Sato name in the credits. I assume that's the same Kat Sato that worked on some of the Game Gear Sonic titles. But I could be wrong. But yeah, folks, I'm not doing hard mode. I just want to get this adventure behind me, and I will see you all in whatever the next game is I play over here on the channel, folks. This has been Fromark, and until next time, I'll see you then.